you a young female revolutionary representative of Grand Cape Mountain District number 1, in person of Honorable Bintu Masale. Madam Masale, being a young woman representing us at the legislature, speaks volume to the CDC's commitment to promoting gender equality and youth empowerment. Not many parties will see leadership in young people and stratify them. There were a lot of people that were being chosen, but our party and the political leader believe in molding the minds of young people. We are in a dispensation where young people should take onto leadership. Sure. This dispensation, Liberia is a youthful country. If Liberia must become better, you need to bring the young people on board because they are visionaries. Those old folks need to be taken care of by the young people. Unfortunately, there's a contradiction in the national leadership. And we will be around to erect the necessary checkpoints. After we'll continue to recognize people. I'd like to recognize now, respectfully, Honorable City, who is the chairman for Maserado County. I would like to recognize all of our partisans in leadership and our ordinary partisans. You are the gatekeepers of this revolution, and you are very important to the revolution. Don't be deterred. There are so many things happening in our country. At this juncture, being the major political party in our country, it is important that we don't remain silent. We have to speak to these issues. Liberians are being witch hunted simply because they don't agree with the ruling party. This country belongs to every Liberian, regardless of your political side. We all cannot support the same side. Nobody should be taken away from their job because they do not support the unity party. It is unacceptable. Our people houses are burning. The government has not spoken to that. People are being made homeless, some of whom are supporters of the government. That's been very insensitive to the plight of the people that you said, making our people homeless. You talk about drugs. We have the zombie drugs killing young people. As a young woman, I feel so devastated seeing my fellow young people being killed by drugs. Somebody will ask, what did you do? As a government, we made a lot of interventions. We introduced a very draconian law, drugs law. We were not just sitting supporting. We made interventions. But these people told us that we were inept, we were uneducated. They claim to be the educated people that understand everything. Now they've come, they're fluctuating in every sector of government, making us to understand that they are not educated. Because those who claim to be educated will act like educated people. But unfortunately, it's the contradiction. They are empowering their partisans and getting other people out of jail. It is unacceptable. And we cannot be here as massive leaders and not speaking to these issues. It is good that we stand for something than to just sit and remain quiet. That is not the nature of the CDC. We'll continue to stick to these issues because Mr. Boakai is under mandate to provide basic services for our people and be sensitive to the plight of every Liberian. He is not president for Unity Party. He's president for Liberians, regardless of what political party you come from, regardless of what religion you come from. He's under the mandate to provide security and protection for all of us, regardless of where we come from. It is beyond this backdrop and so many things that we've come here today to erect the checkpoint and sharpen the contradiction in these inept government officials who are leading our country in the wrong direction, a wrong trajectory, and we will not sit and watch them do that. They said we increase rice price. When we came to power, rice price of $15, we dropped the price. But due to global economic crisis, we were able to talk to our people and increase the rice price. We made it at 15, we make it $13.50. But due to economic challenges, we were able to have conversation with the business people, for which the rice price went up to, I think, $17. They said that was wrong. We were insensitive to the plight of the people. Today, they've come to power. We can't even see rice. Rice has been sold for $20, $21 around. That was some of the promises you made. What they said that our people are struggling to get food to eat. What they say our people do not have access to rice. What happened to the promises you made? It is business beyond usual. They said it was never going to be business as usual. But it's not just business as usual. It is business beyond usual. You said you bring a machine. We are all happy one Liberia to be developed. But you came to power on the matter of transparency and accountability. What happens to accountability. What happened to the procurement process? Is it a loan? If it's a loan, how did we get there? The government needs to stop. So we will be here to erect the necessary checkpoint. With no delay, I do not want to procrastinate much of your time. I will come back, but at this juncture, I'll give the podium back to Comrade Avin Hussein. Thank you so very much.
And so we don't want to waste time because we said cannot keep the chairman hostage. You're welcome to the microphone.
Distinguished partisans, it's always my pleasing duty to be called to duty. I want to seize this time to deeply appreciate the sovereignty of our Most High God. It is in His wisdom and understanding that each and every one of us continue to exist with good health and long life. Words are inadequate to express how deeply we are appreciative, specified blessing and mercy upon our lives. So we have come before Him at this moment, like our mothers had prayed in total submission. Not only it is a people's party, but it is a religious movement. And that's why we enjoyed unquestionably the fullness of guidance and wisdom. And that's why when CDC is put in the position, it does the unusual. Even with the purported perception that CDC is incompetent and CDC cannot do what you may be thinking about. But those of quote-unquote people who claims to be the know-it-all group of people, they have fallen short below the belt to even attempt to survive what the CDC has performed. Strangely, someone asks me, say, what is it about the CDC you survive in difficulties? During your year, it was a year of by-elections. During your year, it was a year of natural peril, COVID-19. But yet it stays first and second to none in the world. But COVID was ravishing the world. Honor his leadership, Excellency Dr. George Manawia. People were being paid when they were seated at home. It took the genius of the CDC leadership. With all of the cross-pollination of issues and complexity, the CDC provided guardians and leadership, authentic one. And CDC was always thinking about the people. And for us, the biggest issues in this country is to address the issues of the people. So today we here honor the leadership, the astute leadership of Comrade Chairperson Augusta Changa Ko, who have decided to accept the sacred responsibility to lead the people strong with total capacity, courageousness, with a sense of deliberate decisiveness. Today he's here to X-rayed, unpack the issues. As I've come to lay the basis for the very important responsibility, we have sat here and listened to you. We're not in rush. We are genuine people. And sometimes we listen to them, and you often hear them say to you, the opposition is silent. Obviously, we're silent. But you know what? We are not talking tongue. The CDC will not transform itself into a talking tongue institution. The CDC is a revolutionary institution who understands the dialectics and the nuances about the people's issue. You don't teach us this terrain. We know what's the issue. I know what you're talking about. They are very good at scapegoating. And I hear a man with a certain responsibility and come before the microphone and dare anyone to challenge the peace and recklessness. When you see them trumpeting like that, they find it hard. No, you don't have what it takes to dare anybody here. We gave you an opportunity so the masses can know you are not no scapegoat here. So the masses, what you took these people. So we won't get an opportunity. So there's a marathon. We know you're not going anywhere. And like the hunter, I'm a son of a hunter. He took his son to the bush. And I said, Daddy, what are you? You see, the bush cow were coming with excessive speed. And the guy said, Daddy, why don't we shoot the head? He said, no, we can't. It is an animal dead in waiting. He said, the speed at which it's moving determines its death.
Yeah.
A little while, the old man talked to his son and said, can we go and pick up the bush cow he was just talking about? When they looked back, it collided with a tree. And it became a dead meat. We know these people. They survive on lies. And that's why we said to them that your quest yesterday was a naked desperation for change, not change. You just want a chance. With you, it's always an opportunity to explore these people. But when we came to you before, we didn't tell you that our struggle was a not-a-meaning football game. These people have been entrenched here for decades upon decades. We have to fight them in all sense. We went there, they fought us, we'll come back. The revolution will return. At that time, you will not depend on me to fight. At that time, you will be armed and equipped for what it takes to defend the mother's land. And there will be no room for these
Wicked.
desperate political desperados who survive on lies. And today we say it was not a quest for change, but instead a quest for change. And when we say to you that it was not rescue, but it was risky. It was a risky mission because it was embellished with selfishness, with greed. And that's what it was embellished with. And somebody said to me and sent me a text, he said, I want to apologize Commerce. I said, but why? He said, I thought it was a unity party. I said, what is it? It's a user party. Not a unity party. It's a user party. It's a party that comes to use. But it's personal. But I trust the ability of this chairperson. Want to say to our partisan, do not bother. We're keeping an eye on them, full eye on them. We understanding them. We know them. They are at a range on a daily basis. Mr. Boakai know fully well. We know them from bottom to top. We have an eye on them. We understand what all they're doing. Those of our people, those Liberians, they are intimidating. We want to say to you, the chairman asked me to be here. The day we come here and we're facing the microphone, you can rest assured that day will be a day of reckoning. Hey! Don't worry about yourself and stop it. Don't mind them. Or the party not talking, don't mind them. They won't find a escape route. They will come here and show to the Liberian people what they are capable of doing. Don't let them to escape the CDC and say, oh, we wanted to do this, but the CDC. The CDC is here. We are focused on His Excellency. We are working with our party, spend our energy in ensuring across the country. So we have in our engagement, I want to say thank you to the political leaders who have done extremely well of understanding what it takes to get us to where we are and setting the party on course. A lot of things coming. We're asking the Liberian people, we are here. We're not visitors. We are authentic group of political institutions. We're here to stay. We got no intention to visit. Those are the people listen to before I take my seat. Sometimes it's very interesting. You see, it's a very interesting place. These are people when once the chance is taken away from them, they return. They are political tourists. I listened to Jeremy Limit PR this morning, who sing with blatant intoxication. And you ask him, you are a mad job seeker. You leech on the state cover. You have never survived as a being before. Never have you. You never survived. And that's why it's strange to you when somebody asks you a question, you get infuriated and you them into bullying a progressive, energetic, sclerotic character like Mama C. Cabal. When you're wasting your time, your expression doesn't define who she is. She was trained to confront creatures like you who survived on political opportunism. So that's the difference between you and I. We will stay here. We don't leave this place because we're going to this place better than you. We don't have to be. You have the. You can, Mr. Boakai, take us from here. you know, it's not possible when you came and brought that thing and we told you it was an arrangement, and to hustle. And you told me, the only reason, the only sympathy you enjoying now, it is a sympathy we chose to give you so that people can understand you. But you are like a flint. We can just snap our fingers. And history will be called to order. So you think you pass in here and you think what you're doing, and you see when you enter the town, you see normally we are traditional people for fine, when you come, when the owners of the farm go cultivating the farm, when people just enter the town, They can be consumed by the absence of the time and think they are the owners of that time. No, you're not. The owners are farming because they know they will return home. So you down there and you get two kakaleka and be doing, you be jumping 30, beating your 30 and things. So you think, because we know exactly what is it. We're not going to put our people through it. You will be here, you will work. Very soon you will go to your office, your office will see you, you'll be afraid to enter and you'll be escaping because you might have desperately disappointed not only the brain but disappoint yourself, and you find no comfort in your respective spaces. It is the knowledge of the hunter. We don't worry about where because we know your end. We see your end before you begin. And that's why we look at you. We don't need to put effort. Because Mr. Boakai presiding in an autopilot government. The country is balloting itself. I see the plan. That's why you see some of these schemers are trying to escape. They want to shift blame. The thing is turning into a disaster, an epidemic, and nobody wants to be associated with it. And so they're running away. See the criminal. You go and somersault today. Pierre, you want us to believe you say the government will make a decision? What kind of decision you haven't made that will be set in cabinet meeting? So it is true that we're in 4-1 manners. You go over there. So who's in charge? That should be a large struggle to know who's in charge. But that's not our duty. We have much more sacred responsibility. The concerns of the Liberian people are more sacred to us than these bunch of desperados who are engaged in the pageantry and merrymaking. So, on this point in time, I want to seize the moment and to reassure you partisans. You know, we've been with you. We've been set after the elections. We have visited several of our counties. We've been actively engaged with you. We understand some of your requests and some of your suggestions. Those are most vital to us. Your concerns are always paramount to us. These people very well will be entrapped by their irresponsibility and their desperation. Their desperado behavior. Very soon, their deeds will turn into their shadow. So don't worry and don't allow them to scapegoat you. The CDC is one of the funniest things that ever existed in the Liberian history of politics. To the extent they're trying to even own the CDC achievement. That's how deceitful they are. Very, very deceptive. And you see and say, the CDC can't be that shit. The CDC, they think you should be responsible enough. You told the Liberian people that you were launching a process that coming to provide leadership for them. And you come here, instead of you apologizing, instead of you asking for forgiveness and surrendering, after surrender, it's don't matter in the night. Don't matter. They are creeping in the night and calling back and forth. It's scary. Don't matter. Very scary. They ask, oh, we want family, oh, yeah. And this other bring local politics. Can you imagine that? So that what you're doing, like also you came here over. We know that we're authentic people. We're not going to talk much about that. We want to say to you, this desperation of change instead of change will be fully known by the Liberian people. The Unity Party that is now being known as a user party will also be known by the Liberian people. So that when you decide to take a decision with them, that decision in the biblical world, the user party will be confined in purgatory, never to return. And that's how you have to, when you confirm them impurgatory, it's become unpardonable. Nothing that can be pardoned. And the caricature guy who today now say to us, but that man is a fool. There's a whole thing. I want you in today will disrupt. There are too many things about him. It will disrupt the meat of the conversation. So we keep it sacred as it is. But very soon you know, we're going to show you those things are about to be done. So like people want to say thank you for your support. Our partisans, thank you for your standing courage. Those of you who go and stay self the librarian, all of you will document it, we know. We know the message, we give you the code already. Don't reveal the code. Check up the code from the police to the EPS to the various government agency and everywhere you are, foreign ministry, capit the code. Very soon we'll unleash and we'll decode. And the world will celebrate you. Thank you so much. Chairman Augusto Changa Kuo, the commanding general of the fighting forces of the People's Party.
The story of the congratulations,
Distinguished members of the National Executive Committee here present, members of our CDC Legislative Caucus, cadres and militants, members of the full estate. We have again assembled here today to continue the documentation of a failing regime. So, before I start to read the prepared text, the Labrador can clearly see the difference now between a CDC government and a unity party government. Because the immediate victims of the unity party government are the ordinary Liberian people. They are the immediate victims, starting from the killing of innocent people in Jaw, to the harassment of motorcyclists, to the harassment of civil servants. These people continue to demonstrate that they represent an elite class of our people. They are dismissing people in the government who are making as low as 150. They are hiring people and paying them thousands of dollars. That tells you the sharp contrast between the Unity Party government and the CDC government. The CDC government is a people-centered government. The CDC government took office, not that it didn't have the power to dismiss. No. Just as the fairly Unity Party government is doing today, the CDC have opted to begin to do arbitrary dismissals and witch hunting. But in the wisdom of His Excellency, Dr. George Manuel Weah, Liberia is a small country. We are all one people. And so the CDC government, even to the dislike of hardcore seditions, government officials were mandated to not to touch people in offices who were perceived to be Unity Party supporters. And that was done from a position of strength. Not that we didn't know that we had Unity Party people working in the offices, no. But the president being who he is, and the president has demonstrated, as you saw the 2023 election, as painful as it was, in conceding defeat on a very small margin that I refer to as a margin of error. Because there were elements in the country. You saw God taking and others moving around the country, threatening the country with war, threatening the country with instability. You saw the murder of ordinary citizens in Lofa, in Nimba, in Monserrato. So these people are looking for an excuse to reignite a civil war in Liberia. And so I want seditions for you to actually put on your lenses. And as painful as it is, with conceding on a very low margin, we are going to court because there were reports of discrepancies all around the country. But there were elements in the country. You saw the Unity Party. I regard the Unity Party as a party that has damaged the moral fabric of the country. Because if you can take a confessed murderer, they're butt naked, and he was one of the moral compass, one of the moral leaders of the Unity Party. So you saw that the country was heading in the wrong direction. You saw that these people were gathering, these people were training people all around the country. And you saw what happened during the 6th year of President Weah. They were hating people who were insulting the presidency. So Unity Party, the government, is a party that has destroyed the moral fabric. Now they don't have the guts to even condemn when people are insulting the presidency. Because they celebrated these people. People trooped from their various districts into District 10. Because they were happy when Oyaka Kolba was insulting the presidency. Today, so even our clergy and others who not condemn, today they have a dilemma. How do you condemn? You have a dilemma. It's a moral dilemma because you have set the standards. It is acceptable to insult the presidency. And so now you have no moral authority. You have no moral authority for the quest of naked power. You damage the moral fabric of the country. And we saw this coming. We saw this coming. And so the Liberian people can see that there's a stark difference between the Unity Party. Even in the offices, they are beginning to regret. Because we didn't bother them. We went to these offices, we didn't bother them. We were trying to hire qualified seditions, paying them as low as 150. Seditions were being insulted all around the country. Were being insulted in their communities. So we want to show that the CDC is not a naked power. No. The CDC is a people's movement that understand that we must confront the challenges that this country faces. The challenge of education, the challenge of development, healthcare. These are the issues that we were combating. It was not a quest for naked power. This is as a government, we have had its own access like any government. But in general terms, the CDC was an authentic regime geared towards solving the problems of the country. When you saw the government giving free wax, was that in error? Because the government become a rich country, maybe in the next 50 years. But what are the people going to be waiting for? So the people must begin to benefit from that resources. That's why you saw free university education. Because we don't want to wait for 50 years for the country to get rich. People benefit. The people need to benefit now. That's why the CDC government was spending millions of dollars annually to subsidize rice. Not that we didn't understand, but we know that Liberian people need to have affordable rice. That's why importers under the CDC government were being given cash to make sure that they kept the rice price down. And so we have come here today. You can already see the government is feeling on its own competence. And that's why people say, oh, we are not talking. We will talk once a month. We will document them. We need to give them the chance to feel more. So that they don't say, oh, CDC trying to disrupt the peace. No. So our president, because if we as a party, we want a confusion in the country, we not have considered a very small margin. It was a big sacrifice to concede on less than 20,000 votes. And so we will not allow people who are authority who don't know what they are doing to use our scapegoats. No, we will keep the country peaceful. The people will see that you don't have what it takes to lead the country. So you are already feeling on your own incompetencies. You don't know, and that's why when the LG said you keep the power on the basis of chance, as if you didn't know, you didn't anticipate. But you governed this country for 12 years. So you have got no excuse. You have got no excuse. Apparently, you don't understand the challenges of the country. You are an elitist cut. Trying to dismiss very poor people, a very, very low echelon of the government. You are targeting ordinary security officers in the police, the EPS, the DEA, immigration. That's very shameful on your part. Because these are Liberians. They are not Sierra Leoneans. They are not Guineans. These are Liberian people who were hired. Even the salary they were making is not even enough to take them home. And then you are dismissing them. You went to the Ministry of State. These people that were helping to maintain Ministry of State properties around the country. You summarily dismiss them. You're trying to exude power. That's not power. That's cowardice. Targeting vulnerable people is a show of cowardice, not strength. So on this note, I will now proceed to prepare text. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, we have assembled here today to continue the documentation of a failing regime. A regime which is fast collapsing under the weight of its own incompetencies. A regime which came to power through an electoral accident. A victory deep within the margin of error. A victory of chance instead of change. We can clearly see that in just 5 months, the United Party regime has become anti-democratic, anti-peace, anti-rule of law. It's taking the country backwards, eroding all the democratic gains made and the consolidation done under the CDC government. We have come here today to condemn. We condemn in the strongest terms the recent attack on the vehicle of the former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Joy Howard Taylor. The former Vice President has complained about inadequate security protection and A recent attack on her vehicle marks an alarming threat to her person. The government of Liberia is requested to take immediate steps to remedy this precarious situation. The protection of the former vice president is the responsibility of the current government. It is very irresponsible for the government to turn a blind eye to this situation. It has also come to the attention of the CDC that the government of Liberia has fraudulently procured 285 yellow machines. The most laughable story in the country. Because I see even United Party folks are dramatizing on social media, dramatizing the procurement of 285 yellow machines. Information gathered speaks to an apparent asset swapping involving some natural resources of the country. If the information is correct, it marks a dangerous bravado of the government in trying to leverage the natural resources of the country. We demand full accountability and transparency in this matter, and the CDC is activating the necessary mechanisms to ensure the protection of the natural resources of the country. While we welcome initiatives here towards the development of the country, such must be within the confines of the law and the national interest. The United Party government has launched a series of attacks on the rule of law by disregarding and disrespecting the Supreme Court ruling and taking arbitrary actions against tenure officials in the government. The United Party government has also failed to prosecute alleged murderers of peaceful citizens in Lufa, Nimba, and Monserrado County. We demand immediate prosecution of these alleged murderers who are roaming free, while the victims' families continue to live in agony. As a matter of fact, we'll be sending a letter to the Attorney General and Justice Minister of the Republic demanding the prosecution of these people who were involved in the killings of peaceful citizens on the guise of electioneering. We also categorically reject the bogus police investigative report of the murder of peaceful protesters in Kinjor, Grand Kidman County. We demand a full independent investigation. The police cannot conduct an investigation that tries to exonerate itself. We also, in the strongest terms, condemn the kidnapping at the airport of a Liberian blogger, Nepe Teddy Kape, aka Vazo.
Yes.
Vazo was kidnapped at the airport upon his arrival in the country without charge. He was here for many days while the government went around looking for complainants. Such actions are reckless, they are counterproductive, anti-peace, they are a threat to the peace and security of the country. Because if we begin to start marshalling men and women to begin to demand justice, will be misrepresented and misinterpreted. And so it is in the interest of the government, in the interest of peace, for the government to desist from witch hunting, targeting, and some of the reckless behavior. As you are aware, recently, the police inspector general was daring Liberians that they cannot go into the street for protest.
Yeah.
And then Liberian, we as a party at this stage, we have not reached the point where we're going to be engaging in protest. But what we will do, we will defend the right of any Liberian. And I want to repeat myself, the CDC at this stage has not made a decision to engage in the organization of any protest. But the CDC as a party, we support the right of all Liberians at any time, anywhere, who decide to protest will defend their rights.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because the right to protest is a constitutionally guaranteed right in the Liberian Constitution. That's why you saw for 6 years.
Yes.
Who were protesting in this country, the police were instructed. The police, when you saw water and food from the police, it was not by accident. It was a deliberate national policy decision of the government to provide them water and food. Because the CDC as a party in opposition was a victim of police brutality. This headquarters was invaded on November 7, 2011. People were killed. Jefferson Tamakoji, who says that today, were arrested multiple times. Almost 10 times. He was tortured under the Unity Party government. He was tortured severally. It's the same government that has come to power. And let the government be warned that pre-2018 activities will not be tolerated. Let the government be warned that the CDC is not silent in cowardice. No. The CDC is providing you an opportunity to drown yourself.
Thank you.
That will be part of the narrative that will say, oh, the people left power and they were trying to disrupt the peace. Like I said, if we want to be disruptive of the peace that we built, we have contested the election result, we have gone to court. And then I'm sure by then, God making and all have been activated to bring terror on the country. But we opted not to do that. We opted not to do that. Opted not to do that. We opted not to go for the ugly parts of the country because for us, power is not the ultimate. The safety, the happiness of Liberian people is more important because we are aware that people in Liberia live day by day, because we are the owners of the country. Because we grew up in poverty. I know. I live day by day. My family lived day by day in the 80s, in the 90s. We went and fetched chicken green. And any disruption in the fetching of chicken green meant we will not have food on our day. So it is against that backdrop I would think. So it's not the government we are looking at. No. When you see the CDC, it's calm and peaceful. It's not the government. We are looking at the ordinary people. Not the government. The government is just a beneficiary of our strategic analysis that the country deserves the peace and tranquility. But we do not want excuses. But we are indeed coming back to power because already in 5 months. In 5 months, we can already see the difference between the CDC government and the Unity Party government. Before, maybe people didn't understand the difference between the CDC and the Unity Party. The Unity Party used lies, propaganda. They said we don't have a strong propaganda, and I agree. I do agree. The CDC, as a government field, measurably have propaganda. But when you use propaganda to come to power, you not use propaganda to lead. Because the real issues will confront you. The real issues will confront you. You have to solve real problems. You're not going to use propaganda to govern. No. You have to solve real issues. You have to confront the importers. You have to deal with them. Under our regime, President Weah, being a son of Gibraltar, instructed the government to pay subsidy to keep the rice price down. President Weah, when U.S. students were demonstrating, President Weah instructed the government to declare free tuition. Quota was a joke. Quota was a bluff. No, it's not a bluff. Before we left office, the enrollment at the UM more than doubled as a result of free tuition. More than doubled. The pay of the university went to 3.4 million per month. because the free education, the free tuition scheme multiply the number of students that will be enrolling. And when the number of students enrolling multiply, more sections are to be created. When more sections are created, the university will have to hire more professors who have to think for longer hours. So these decisions by the CDC government were deliberate. When the CDC government took power in 2018, only 20,000 students were sitting wax annually. Before we left power, 50,000 students were sitting wax. People are trying to lie. The same lie you told when you're in opposition. And we're not paying for wax. Anybody who did wire here? Wire does not credit. Wire does not boost their pay. No. If you don't pay a wax fee, you will not take the test. Even before the government started paying. So you should ask them. If somebody says, oh, the government owe you wire, the government didn't pay. And you know about the government can't pay. It's a blatant false, it's a blatant lie. Because wire does not credit. Go to wire office. You don't pay. The government didn't pay. The student will not take the test. So what they are alluding to, in fact, we reduce the government, the country's area to wire. But before we left office, we pay around 700,000 against, and every year, monthly, yearly, that need to be paid by the government of Liberia has not been paid for almost 30 years. We pay almost 700,000 against that to reduce the arrears. The wax fees currently were paid because they are a prerequisite, they are a precondition for the students sitting the wax. We challenge the government to continue these policies. The university must remain free, wax must remain free, that will continue to subsidize rights. But these are the things that directly impact the people. So we challenge you to continue these policies. And then attempt not to provide subsidy for the rice. You bring the right of the Liberian poor yourself. So we're not going to interfere. We're not going to organize any protest, no. But if the people decide to protest, we'll defend their right to protest. So if there are some merchants in the government that are trying to play politics with the rice by adding $1 or $2 and all that kind of thing, they must think twice. In the CDC government, we were paying importer subsidies to keep the rice price down.
Oh, yes.
Now we said the government continues the harassment of ordinary civil servants by wrongful dismissals, unwarranted transfers, intimidation. These acts of the government have the propensity to create serious discord in the civil service and undermine the peace and tranquility of the country. Like I said earlier, we have also been informed that police officers recruited during the CDC regime have been targeted, harassed, suspended, and dismissed for political reasons. This is very wrong and unacceptable. The government is seriously politicizing the security services of the state. It started with the mass dismissal of EPA agents. Now, the police administration has followed suit. The Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, also welcomes the signing of Executive Order 131, creating the Office for the War and Economic Plan put in Liberia to address abuses and violations of human rights committed during the 14 years of civil war. We also thank the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate for passing a resolution for the establishment of a court, the jurisdiction of prosecuting war and economic crimes. It is hoped that we can finally bring closure to the 14 years of civil crisis in Liberia. The CDC also strongly believes that even in the wake of these steps taken for the establishment of the code, the implementation of the Parahot Forum, as recommended by the TRC, is equally paramount for attaining genuine and lasting peace, reconciliation, and unity in Liberia. While employing these monumental steps towards addressing the abuses of the past, we should not lose sight of the historical issues of exclusion, marginalization, abuse of power, and the disregard of the rule of law, which culminated in in the country 14 years upheaval. So do not play politics with the establishment of our Economic Grounds Court. Because unless you are now a student of Liberian history, you will understand that abuse of power, violation of human rights, and some of the very things that are happening today are the things that precipitated the civil crisis. So it will be mere mockery and hypocrisy if you are trying to establish a court while repeating the excesses of the past, while trying to activate former warlords to bring havoc on the people. Because a civilized government should not even have entertained even doing the campaign, confess murder. And the reason why I'm using Bob Naked as an example, he's the only man who has gone on tape. And I just want to set the record straight. He's a man who, because he's already a convict, he's a man who go on tape and confess to murders. Yeah, he's gone on tape, and that's what I'm calling murder, because we on a Liberian law, everybody is presumed innocent. Somebody go on public radio and say, "Oh, I'm a murderer. I murder a lot of people. I murder hundreds of people." Yeah, we are forgiving him as a brother. But for him to have been introduced in the political theater in the 2023 election, so dangerous law. Very dangerous. Dangerous desperation on the part of the Unity Party. And we are surprised that international actors did not even condemn that. Because somebody who is a confessed murderer should not have been anywhere near the politics of the country. And now the party the main supporter is in power. So you can imagine what could be happening behind the scene. We are getting information that people have been trained, this and that, this and that. The government should take note that all our top propaganda agents are activated and be keeping serious watch. We are already witnessing extrajudicial action of the government. The government is engaging in violation of rights. It's asking people to take the people saying, "Oh, but the government, do you want to take the government to court?" That's very laughable. But the government should not be asking citizens to take it to court. But the citizens do not have the resources to go to court. The reason why people will engage in protests is because they don't have the resources to go to court. People are living day by day. And so you should not violate the rights of people and say, "Oh, the people should go to court." So it's just simple elementary logic. You cannot demand ordinary people to say, "Oh, we'll violate your right to go to court." Yeah. We've already seen mysterious killing all around the country. Police initial engagement with citizens resulting in the deaths of people in jail. Sometimes we continue for 6 years. In 6 years, there was no death at the hands of the police. People lied on the government. They lied about others being killed. They lied and lied and lied. They lied their way to power. You cannot lie your way to govern. You are confronted with the practical challenges of governing the country. And we will stay aloof and will not give you the comfort of finding an alibi. Come on. We won't. The CDC will not be used as an alibi. Because President we has already demonstrated that the Liberian people are far above the quest for power. And so we are all following cue. We are following His Excellency President Weah, the example he has set. And that's why we'll be constructively engaged with the government. We'll keep the government feet to the fire, but will not be disruptive. The government will disrupt its own activity if it wants to. We will not be used. Will not be used. Shall not be used. So, like we're saying, when such transgressions as flagrant as violating Supreme Court decisions and protesters being shot by the police, which is meant to protect them, harassing and removing civil servants from position without justifiable reasons, and politicizing the security forces through arbitrary dismissals become commonplace. We are starkly reminded of the vices and vestiges of our difficult past that brought the country into crisis. These historical wrongs attended the Civil War, and they are sadly re-emerging, like I've already indicated, just 3 months into the regime of the Unity Party. The electoral violence of 2023, perpetrated mainly by supporters of the Unity Party, resulted in the death in Lofa, Nimba, and Monserrado counties. And these deaths are not being investigated. We demand, and maybe it will do any protest that will be protesting for. Because people in Lofa will not die in vain. We'll be communicating formally to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General to demand prosecution of people who were, because these people were murdered on tape. These people were murdered on tape. In Lofa, people were murdered on tape. In Monserrado, they were murdered on tape. And we saw it. And the culprits, the alleged culprits and perpetrators are women free. That is totally unacceptable. Very uncivilized. It was important to give the government the opportunity, to give the government the space. But those people who died, their death will not go in vain. The perpetrator will be prosecuted, will demand the prosecution. And so it will start to do any protest. That will be protesting for.
What?
Yeah, we'll be demanding the prosecution of the murderers in Lofa. We'll be demanding the prosecution of the person who killed Joshua. There was a reported death also in Nimba. We'll be demanding prosecution. The government should take note, because these people were Liberians. They had the right to political participation. So the government should because some of these people were already indicted, were charged and indicted. And the government should proceed with the prosecution of these people. And we are also surprised that the definite silence of our international partners, because they are not demanding, for instance, the prosecution of people who committed murder during the election. These people must be prosecuted because these people committed these crimes on tape. Council of Churches should demand the prosecution of the alleged murderers who murder people in cold blood in the name of politics. No Liberians being murdered in the name of politics. Our politics should read the product. He says yes, the CDC did not opt to arrest opposition people. No. Not that the CDC did not have the power to arrest. No. But the CDC government thought it was uncivilized. The CDC government could not met out violence are meted against Jefferson Koji, violence are meted against Moma Molu, violence are meted against Akaras Gray. These people were arrested and tortured under the Unity Party. Tortured severally, not one time, not 2 times. And so the CDC could not come to power and begin to arrest and torture people. That would be very contradictory. That would be against the revolution. So do not mistake the CDC. The CDC knew exactly what it was doing. It was providing food for protesters, because it realized that the Liberian Constitution guaranteed the right to peaceful assembly, the right to protest. So, to conclude, the consolidation of Liberian democratic credential and peace is critical to the prosperity of the country. It will prevent the repeat of our troubled past. Thank you.
Amanda. Amanda. So you listen to the party's position on issues confronting democracy and attracting the survival of the state and its people. So the time is yours. You now have the opportunity as members of the folk estate to ask 3 questions. And we hope that your questions will be able to meet the confines of what has been said and read. So please take due judicial and intellectual notes. Thank you. Yeah, please call your name and the station you represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Thomas Kojo. I work for Freedom FM.
One question, please.
Honorable Chairman, you made a statement. You said at some point in time, the CDC will not get involved in the protests. At some point in time, you said the CDC will get involved in the protests. Don't you see that as a total contradiction to your statement?
No, it's not contradiction. A specific issue that I spoke to the murder of citizens during the elections. People have been charged and we demand the government to prosecute. I said, if the citizens will protest, I will be protesting for. So, but I'm sure the government will prosecute. We write an official communication to the Ministry of Justice, and then we'll be demanding justice for these people who were killed. But these people who were killed on tape. They were killed in full glare of the people. There are videos of these people being tortured and killed. So their death cannot go in vain. It's not going to go in vain in the name of politics, no. So the perpetrator will be prosecuted, will demand a prosecution. And I said, if we protest, that's one thing we will protest for. And I hope we will not need to protest for the government to prosecute. But the prosecution, the government should do its job. But what we say additionally was that even though the CDC is not in the business of organizing protests, well, the right to protest is the constitutional right of the Liberian people. So any people that decide to protest will defend their right to protest.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so Francis Kenny Cooper, I report for the Liberty Network. I listened to your session, and then you did mention a source synopsis regarding General Boakai with his interference into the Liberian politics in 2023. How can you reconcile this? Because in 2017, President Johnson also supported the CDC that led to the CDC victory.
So the General Boakai was not a political actor, has never been a political actor. President Johnson was a senator of Nimba County. So those are the differences. And Prince Johnson has been accused of various crimes, but Prince Johnson has not gone on tape to confess to any crime. And so, but I'm speaking to Boakai, who has gone on tape. There are very many videos on social media. I tell you that Boakai is a confessed murderer. I think I know what the TRC pardon him.
Follow up.
The
last question, yeah.
Yes, sir. My name is Archie Bourne, and I report for Today Live Television. I'm so concerned about the 285 yellow machines that were announced by the Minister for State Portfolio. There have been many concerns that drew the attention of many Liberians as well on the basis of accountability and transparency. And we see some of the lawmakers, the level of Honorable Sir Joseph, welcoming the information that is very commendable. And you have a group of legislative caucus, meaning those who feel the representative in the Senate. How is party reconciling this to families so that the government can be brought to accountability?
So even the CDC welcome the idea of giving 285. In fact, we want 500. Yes, we want 500. But we're just saying because there are laws, there are laws for public tender. There's a process. We are just asking the government to be transparent and accountable. So Sir Joseph is not wrong to want the yellow machines. Even the CDC will want 500. The government should add, additional, 85. Should add not 215. To make it 500, we need 500, but it should do it properly. It should not swap the resources that we're hearing. It should not say, for instance, one game. No, there are processes. We not mortgage the resources in the country. So we're not against, no. And that be on record. The CDC is not against, the government getting, because in fact, before we left office, we left almost 50 yellow machines. 50 that our CDC government left. Yeah, and trucks. So the CDC government supposed, but that was done through a public tender. There was a contractor. It was open competitive bidding, and that's what we are asking for. So we're not against yellow machines. But yeah, don't do it shaded. It shouldn't be a shaded deal. No.
Yeah, so let's take the last.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Sam Andrews, host of this afternoon show Bits and Pieces on Board Liberia 104.1.
Oh, yes.
Though you didn't mention it in your address, but it couldn't have come at a better time than now because you are poised. You are the best person as chairman of the party. We've been hearing over the days defections from a tripartite arrangement to a couple of individuals, though they have not been definitive as to whether they are out completely or they are staying in. Wouldn't you mind telling us whether those parties are out of the Congress, the Coalition for Democratic Change, or they are staying in?
So what I can tell you is that the Coalition for Democratic Change is a coalition of independent political parties. National Patriotic Party, the Deliverables Democratic Party. These parties have their own internal democratic processes. And there will be competitions in these parties, just as there are competition in the Congress for Democratic Change. But what we can tell you that the Coalition for Democratic Change remains strong. And after an electoral law, there are a lot of variables at play, but we will, as we know now, no party has withdrawn from the coalition. The coalition remains together. The NPDP is still with us. The NPP is still with the coalition. And there are even additional 9 parties that are still with the coalition. So the coalition is strong, and we will be looking forward to being in the NPP is still with the coalition. The NPDP is still with the coalition, but these parties have their internal democratic processes that will exhaust. Yes. So they have the right, just as the Congress has the right. The Congress is trying to rebrand now. There are a lot of things that we're going to be doing in the community from the perspective of the Congress for Democratic Change.
Oh, Congress,